Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Diallo, back with another reacts on the channel, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited to bring this one because your boy loves Chucky. And this video is called Why Everyone Hated the Child's Play Remake. I seen the Child's Play Remake. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't mean it was good. I just told chat this. I am live on Twitch. If y'all want to come by on Twitch, Dose of Diallo on Twitch. Oh, I feel you now, Nikita. You're saying that to Google. Yeah, fuck Google. Google's a corn bag, a potato sack. I don't even know other words, but nonetheless, y'all, let's go and get into this video. If y'all want to come by on Twitch, this is React Wednesday. Love React Wednesday. It's one of my favorite days. So let's go and get into this video and see why people hated the Child's Play remake.
In 1988, the world was introduced to Chucky, a killer doll
Chucky.
possessed by the soul of notorious serial killer Charles Lee Ray, and horror fans immediately fell in love. What started as a simple slasher concept quickly exploded into one of the most iconic horror franchises
Give me
of
the
all
power,
time,
I beg of
spawning
you.
multiple sequels, a TV series,
Oh
and
my
cementing Chucky's
gosh,
place
I
on the
love
Mount Rushmore
Chucky.
of horror icons.
Okay, hold on. Chucky is on the Mount Rushmore of horror icons. He really is for me. Look, Nikita, you don't know nothing about Chucky. Chucky is the shit. He's one of the greatest horror icons to me. I really think that he's top up there. His first 3 movies were gas. After Bride of Chucky, they started to fall and started to get into the comedy route. And it did not sit well with me. Because I was like, yo, Chucky's a doll. You know, how can you be afraid of a doll running around and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. But dang, you can't play from Russia. That's crazy. Actually, I'm kind of shocked about that. You don't like him? Bro, you're crazy, Nikita. You're crazy. Like I was saying, it's just wild how they took the comedy route for Chucky. A lot of people are scared of dolls. A lot of people are afraid of what his like sneakiness was. Like he would hide underneath a bed. He would hide in a closet. He would be sitting there just like this, chilling, and then gut you like a fish. And then the shit that he would say was so vicious. Like, you better talk, goddammit, or I'm gonna throw your ass in the fire. You stupid bitch. He started going crazy on that. Cause he was like, ain't no way this bitch talking reckless to me. I talk reckless to bitches. You don't talk reckless to me. Like, what the fuck?
But decades later, when the Child's Play remake was announced,
Oh my
everything
gosh.
changed. Fans were angry.
Changed.
The original creator was left
I was
out,
hot about the
and
Child's
internet
Play
made
remake.
it very clear. This wasn't the Chucky they wanted. So what actually went wrong? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mike's Movie Room, and in today's video, we are looking at why this remake failed and why fans hate it so much. So join me as we dive deep into Child's Play 2019.
That part of the every character is new to the series, so they had 10 characters, 10 episodes to get character development. So it's kind of something to get used to. Is your phone still freaked up? Yes. And my phone is jacked, man.
Audiences.
That's what I'm trying to get.
Of around $9 million.
That's what I'm trying to get my money for.
$44 million worldwide at the box office. Directed by Tom Holland.
We don't gotta talk about that.
No, not the new Spider-Man. And created by Don Mancini.
Not the new Spider-Man.
Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, and Alex Vincent, with Brad Dourif bringing Chucky to life with one of the most iconic voice performances in horror history.
Yes!
Was how
he
well
was
it
like,
worked.
man,
Critics praised it as
it
a smart,
worked
suspenseful,
really
and
good.
genuinely creepy horror film, not just a silly killer doll movie. Even skeptics were won over by its tension, performances, and practical effects.
It was
quickly
good.
Turning it into a
practical
cult
effects
classic,
was good.
But not everyone was a fan. Parents and activists were outraged, with protests and calls to ban the film, fearing it would influence violence in children. But Chucky couldn't be stopped. By 1990, the franchise fully embraced what made it special. Chucky was the star. No longer hiding in the shadows,
he was
his
the
sarcastic,
shit.
wisecracking personality took center stage, and fans loved it. Child's Play 2 was a success, earning $35.8 million on a $13 million budget. And while critics were mixed, fans praised it for perfectly blending horror and dark comedy.
Like, look at him kicking!
The best film in the entire franchise. Seeing big money dollar signs, the studio rushed out Child's Play 3.
I think the Child's Play remake could have been
later,
good if they didn't kill the cat.
Despite the same budget, the film only made...
You know what's funny? A lot of things made me hate the remake a lot. And that's crazy. They was on like a, what did he say, $30 million budget, and they were able to pull. No. They were on a $13 million budget, and they were able to pull like 30 something million. Even more. That's nice. Even though people were hating on it because parents or whatever. That's crazy. But the Child's Play remake didn't do a lot of things good for me. Like the cat thing was a little too much for me because I never seen Chucky kill an animal. At least I don't think. I can't remember him killing an animal. I'm gonna have to do a rewatch on all of them. But like, I don't know. It was just like a lot of the scenes were too like they tried to make you feel bad for Chucky. And you know what's funny? I felt bad for that motherfucker. Like I felt bad for his little ass a little bit. In that movie, I was sitting in the theater like, yo, why are they being so mean to him? He just wants to be y'all's friend. Cause he wasn't gonna be a killer at first, but they made him into a killer. Then he opened up all those other Chuckies, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But Child's Play 1 and 2, fire movies. He's about to talk about Child's Play 3, where I think after this one, Bride of Chucky and the rest of them, ooh, stinkers, 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 stinkers. If Chucky kills animals, I low-key don't like him even more. I know, because I don't remember. I have to rewatch them.
20.6 million worldwide and received negative reviews. Critics and fans pointed
Yeah.
to the rushed production and the recasting of Andy Barclay didn't help. So I know a lot of people seem to hate on the third movie, but I actually have a really good time with it. The setting and
The
the
third movie
military
was
school
alright.
is actually pretty cool.
It was
opinion.
alright.
And the
It
third
was
act
alright.
is awesome. Like when they're in the fair
The
and
third
going
act
to
was
that
pretty
haunted
good.
house that has the roller coaster, Chucky gets half of his face sliced. And then he falls
Literally,
in that big
like,
fan.
and he falls
That's
into
one of
the fucking
coolest
fan.
ways Chucky dies in the entire franchise.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it
get
is.
it has its issues. I know it was rushed
One
in
of the
production.
coolest
It really
ones.
sucks
Coolest
that they
ways.
recast Alex Vincent as Andy Barclay. It would have been really cool to see him come back for a third time, but I get they had to do the time jump in age because production was rushed. And the kills are all right.
Yeah.
There's nothing really stand out in this movie. There's a couple good scenes, but the kills aren't really that good. In my opinion, there's no bad movie in the original trilogy. And honestly, this goes
No,
for the
not in
entire
the original
franchise. I mean, I
trilogy.
know in some of the
Thanks
later
for
movies
subscribing,
they
by
use
the way. You
CGI
didn't
for
need to.
certain
Just wanted
aspects
to
of
shout
Chucky
out.
walking and shit, which I don't really like because it doesn't really look very good. The
Never.
first one being my favorite
No, I'm
because of
gonna
how the
subscribe
doll
for sure.
changes. The
I
longer
got
his
to.
soul stays inside the doll,
Got to,
he goes
bro.
from that plastic shiny porcelain color to like this weird, more human color. He starts getting like a unibrow and just looking really fucking creepy. And I wish they continued that.
Yeah,
in
he
the
started
movie.
looking
And the
weird.
animatronics work so good.
Started looking
Since
real
it's a doll,
weird.
it doesn't really have like
And I like
human-like
that.
movements, so like the weird, unnatural movements just make it look so creepy. And if you haven't already, I definitely recommend going and checking out the behind the scenes for the first film. It's really cool. It has all this different footage on how they brought Chucky to life using animatronics, puppets, and little people. It's really crazy, and it honestly holds up still today. Practical over
Yeah.
CGI. After a short break,
Practical
the
over
franchise came
CGI.
back in
I always remember that
1998 with
shit.
Bride of Chucky, and this is where everything started to change. The film leans
Yes.
fully into the horror comedy,
The
introducing
horror
Tiffany and giving
comedy.
Chucky a
Now, look, I enjoy Tiffany. I'm not saying I don't like Tiffany. I'm not. But if you're going to introduce like a love interest for Chucky or something with him, please make him just like a killer, just like her. She was a killer and she was like always like, I guess she did kill a couple people beforehand because, she killed her boyfriend for Chucky, which was crazy. And everything. But it's just, I think that they lean too much into the comedy aspect of things. Tiffany started cracking jokes and Chucky started cracking more jokes than he did. And even the characters that they were killing were cracking jokes. The people in the old movie weren't really cracking jokes. The characters, the people that were dying, only Chucky was just the wisecracker. And now it's just like everybody's now got something to say funny. And then the rock music was also really good in Bride of Chucky. Not gonna lie, that music was fire. He's in the back like, this shit was fire. It just sucks how they went around Chucky.
brand new look, complete with those iconic scars.
I
With a
like
budget
his
of
look, though.
$25 million,
I liked his look.
It brought in over
did.
50 million worldwide, doubling its budget, becoming the most successful film in the franchise. Critics and fans praised it as a bold reinvention that gave the series new life.
It
But
was
unfortunately, this is where things started to fall apart. In 2004, Don
'cause they tried it
Mancini
again.
took full creative control and directed and wrote Seed of Chucky. And it went all
Crazy.
in on over-the-top comedy. With a $29 million budget,
Yeah,
it only made
over-the-top comedy.
$24.8 million, becoming a box office disappointment. Fans and critics alike were divided. Some appreciated its bizarre, ahead of its time humor, but for many, it just didn't feel like Chucky anymore. All right, guys, so I really love Bride of Chucky, clearly.
Wow, look at the Chucky doll.
Dude, I get it. Comedy.
I want one so bad.
The movie makes me laugh.
So bad.
But that's kind of the issue
So
with it. Now, don't get me wrong.
It
Horror
is.
fans, myself
That was the
included,
issue with
love
it.
Chucky
Sorry, I'm a little
when he's
sick.
cracking wise-ass jokes when he's killing people. But this movie just takes it completely over the top. It's like a joke. There's absolutely no suspense in this movie, and it honestly just doesn't feel like a Chucky movie. It feels more like a parody of the Chucky movies. I mean, some of the things that happen in this movie literally feel like they belong in the trailer for Scary Movie 6. That's the problem with this movie. I mean, if you like it and you like this take on Chucky, then I mean, good for you, but this movie's rough, man. Now, I will say this. I absolutely love showing these movies to my friends who have never seen any of the Chucky films, because I'll show them the first trilogy and they'll really like it, and they'll start asking, you know, hey, when does he start getting the scars? Because most people know Chucky with the stitched up look. And they always ask about Bride of Chucky because they always hear about that, so I'll show them Bride of Chucky. And that's where it gets a little mixed. Some people like the comedy aspect, some people think it's kind of too comedic. And then we get to see to Chucky. That's when I love watching this movie. Just seeing people's reactions to how crazy this movie is and how much of a left turn it actually takes. Even if I prepare my friends, they like don't believe me or understand what I'm talking about when I'm like, dude, this movie is over the top and has some crazy shit in it that you are not going to expect for a Chucky movie. The earlier Chucky films worked because of balance, man. Horror and comedy, not like this. After that, the franchise moved away from theaters and went straight to digital, with Curse of Chucky in 2014 bringing things back to its darker horror roots, a much-needed course correction. But then Cult of Chucky in 2017 leaned back into the campy tone, once again dividing fans. And that brings us to 2019, because behind the scenes, something big was happening. MGM owned the rights to the original 1988 film, which meant they could legally remake it without Don Mancini. They decided to reboot the franchise entirely, modernize it, update it for a new generation, and compete with the rising trend of horror remakes. But there was one big problem. The heart of Chucky wasn't there. With Mancini not involved, many original cast members refused to return. At the same time, Mancini was continuing the real Chucky storyline, a TV series
in the
featuring
TV show,
cast members like Jennifer Tilly.
And
so
I
was the
enjoyed
remake
the
doomed
TV show
from
a
the
lot.
beginning? Was it judged too harshly because of what happened behind the scenes?
It was doomed from
or
the start.
Were there bigger problems with the movie itself? Let's go back to when the remake was first announced, because right from the beginning, this movie was surrounded by controversy. Fans were already upset that Don Mancini, the creator of Chucky, wasn't involved at all. And to make things worse, this wasn't a continuation. It was a full reboot, which immediately split the fan base. Some fans were completely against it, while others were cautiously optimistic. And I was one of those people, because as much as I love the character of Chucky, I wasn't a huge fan of the direction the franchise had been going in. The over-the-top comedy, the campiness, it just didn't feel like the same character anymore. So the idea of a darker, modern reboot actually had me excited. And then things got even more interesting. It was announced that Mark Hamill would be voicing Chucky. And that got people talking. Because this is the voice of the Joker. This is Luke Skywalker, one of the greatest voice performers of all time. So naturally, expectations went way up. And I'll be honest, that made me even more excited. Then we got our first glimpse of what Chucky would actually sound like.
Good night, Andy.
And it was honestly pretty good. I liked it. It felt different, but in a good way. And a lot of fans felt the same way. At this point, it actually felt like this reboot might work. But then, things started to change. Because once the design of Chucky was revealed, that's when the concern really started to set in. This wasn't the good guy doll anymore. This was a buddy doll. And fans were not happy. The design just
not happy with him. He looked ugly as shit.
The proportions, the expressions.
The Dumb Doll Chronicles, literally, bro.
Charm. Instead of feeling unsettling, it just looked weird. The original Chucky worked because he looked innocent at first, and then slowly became terrifying. But this version just looked unsettling from the start, and not in a good way. It never really felt like a toy you'd actually want to buy. And that's a bigger deal than it might sound, because Chucky isn't just a character, he's a product. The good guy doll felt real. It felt like something that could actually exist in the real world.
I wanted a good guy doll
made everything more believable.
Bad, and I
but
still
the buddy
do.
doll
I am
going to
find one.
That same
I'm going to find that and the Bride of Chucky doll.
Seriously from the start. And for a lot of people, this is the moment They lost confidence in the movie, and we haven't even gotten to the biggest change yet, because what they did to Chucky's character completely changed everything. It was announced that Chucky would no
Bro, I
longer
don't know
be a
what that
serial
was.
killer using
I
voodoo
don't
to
know what
transfer
that
his soul
was.
into a doll. This time, he was going to be AI, and honestly,
mushroom.
I thought it was a pretty ballsy move, because if it was executed the right way, it could have actually worked. The original was scary because it was simple. A possessed children's toy
Bro, I don't
with the
know,
soul of a
bro.
killer inside it. And
I
that
don't
killer had a
know
goal.
what
He
that
wanted to
was.
transfer his soul
AI
into Andy's body.
commercials.
That gave the story tension, it gave Chucky
Yes.
purpose, and it made him dangerous.
Gave him
So when
something
they
to
announced
do.
the AI angle,
Gave
the
him
big
something to
question
do.
became, how do you
Well, what is he
recreate
gonna
that same
do?
fear? And interestingly, the remake actually touches on an idea from the original script. In early versions of the 1988 film, the good guy dolls were supposed to bleed if you played with them too rough. And Andy would make a blood oath, mixing his blood with the doll's, bringing it to life. The doll would then protect Andy,
I think it was.
killing anyone who got in his way. That idea was ultimately scrapped. But in a way, the remake kind of brings that concept back. Instead of voodoo, we get a disgruntled employee removing all the safety features from a buddy doll. So when the doll meets Andy, it becomes completely obsessed with him. It wants to be his best friend. Till the end. And anyone who threatens that relationship becomes a target. And on paper, that's actually not a bad idea. But here's where the movie really falls apart. This version of Chucky isn't evil. He doesn't have malicious intent. He's not a killer enjoying what he does.
It was
just confused. He thinks he's helping Andy, which means instead of being terrifying, you kind of feel bad for him. And I
I
that's
hated
where
that.
the movie loses what
I
made
hated
Chucky work
that.
in the
Yes,
first place. Because Chucky
feel
isn't
bad
supposed to
for
be
him.
sympathetic. He's supposed to be evil. If they had leaned fully into the AI concept and made him more like something out of the Terminator, just cold, calculated, evil AI, I actually think it would have worked a lot better. Because then you still get a modern version of Chucky while keeping the same sense of danger. But instead, we got a version of Chucky that feels more like a broken toy than a horror icon. So when the remake finally hit theaters in 2019, there was already a lot of skepticism surrounding it. The film was released on June 21st, 2019, with a production budget of around $10 million. And financially, it wasn't a disaster. The movie went on to make about $45 million worldwide at the box office, which means it technically turned a profit. But compared to other horror remakes, it didn't exactly stand out either. And when you look at the reviews, they tell a very interesting story. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film sits at around 63% from critics, which means most critics thought it was decent. But the audience score tells a slightly different story, coming in around 57%, which shows that fans were much more divided. And when it comes to the horror community, the reaction was even more clear. A lot of fans didn't just dislike the movie, they rejected it, because to them, this wasn't a reinvention. It was a replacement. And at the same time, Don Mancini was continuing the original Chucky story with the TV series, which made the remake feel even more unnecessary. On top of the original creators and cast publicly rejecting the film for being pushed out. Mancini felt disrespected, so fans felt disrespected, even if they didn't like the direction Mancini was going. Now, to be fair, the remake isn't all bad. There's actually a few things it does pretty well.
It was
For
pretty
starters,
nice.
the characters. For the most part, I actually like this version of the cast.
Pretty good.
The dynamic between Andy and his friends adds something new and makes the story feel a little more updated for a modern audience. And of course, we have to talk about the kills, because this is where the movie definitely delivers. The gore is solid. Some of the kill sequences are actually pretty
nice.
And when the movie leans into that horror side, it shows flashes of what this remake could have been. So again, it's not like the movie had no good ideas. There are definitely moments where it works, but the problem is, those moments aren't enough to overcome the bigger issues. And when everything settled, the reaction to the remake was pretty clear. Some people enjoyed it for what it was, but a lot of fans completely disowned it. And that divide really shows just how risky it was to change something this iconic. Then, in 2021, the Chucky TV series was released, and this time, it was much better received. Critics and fans responded positively,
I love this
and
series
it felt like
so
a true
much.
return to form for the character. And honestly, I thought it was a great step in the right direction. But unfortunately, once again, as the series went on, it started to lean back into that over-the-top campiness we saw in Seed of Chucky, which ended up dividing fans again. And ultimately, the show was canceled after season 3. Now, as of right now, Don Mancini is reportedly working on another film. But to be honest, I don't have very high hopes, because at this point, What I really want to see is the franchise go back to what made Chucky work in the first place. A balance
In the
of
beginning
horror
when he was
and
a
dark humor.
killer.
A character that's
Yes.
actually scary. And a story that feels grounded enough to make it believable. Sometimes a remake doesn't fail because it's bad. It fails because it forgets what made the original
tries too
matter.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just really sucks because the
Tries
components are
too
there for a
much
badass
new
Child's Play
shit.
remake. I mean, just them sticking to animatronics. Mark Hamill is the voice of Chucky. And in
Yep.
the AI angle, if they would have executed that better, this movie would have been
It
a hit.
could have
If they
been
would have kept
good.
that evil aspect and made the AI more like Skynet from Terminator and just wanting to get rid of the human race, that would have been such a cool way to keep this film more grounded and in reality, because I know some people think
Yeah.
that Chucky movies are over top with all the voodoo shit. So to keep it more grounded but still keep the essence of the character. I mean, as much as you can by switching from a serial killer using voodoo to get an adult to AI, but it keeps that evil aspect. Alrighty guys, so those are my thoughts and opinions on why I feel like the Child's Play remake failed. Drop a comment down below and let me know if you guys agree or if you guys disagree. I love chatting it up with you guys, and I try to respond to every single one of you. And
Yeah. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. I do really love Chucky, and this video is really good at pinpointing which points where Chucky started to fail. Like I said, after Child's Play 3, that's when you started to see it go into that more campy, funny, comedy, horror bullshit that wasn't Chucky. And it sucks, because I did enjoy the TV show, but then the TV show started to do that too. And the remake could have been good, like he said, if they would have just stuck with the fact that Chucky's a killer. He's not supposed to be someone that you empathize with. And I was very upset with the movie when they did that. Nonetheless though, y'all, everybody stay safe, and y'all be easy out there. Take care, y'all. Peace!